New data. Most Indians believe in God with most certain of their belief. So this is again from that Pew Research big survey that we were talking about. So this is some other reflections of Indian society that were gleaned from that work that we're going to dive into. So a new Pew Research survey of around 30,000 Indian adults finds that an overwhelming number of Indians believe in God, which is 97%, with most of them saying that they are confident in their belief, which would be 79%. India is the home of the world's largest Hindu, Sikh, and Jain populations, the third largest Muslim population, and millions of Christians and Buddhists. 61% of Hindus and 54% of Jains say that there's only one God with many manifestations. 66% of Muslims, 68% of Christians, 57% of Sikhs, and 39% of Buddhists say that there is only one God. When it comes to gender differentiation, 78% of men and 80% of women believe in God with absolute certainty. Among Muslims, men are more likely than women to be certain of God's existence, with 81% of men versus 76% of women.
All right. I'm going to put a positive spin on this, okay? We're talking India here, okay? So how many people believed in God?
With 97%.
All right, so hold on. That means, hold on, let me think. Yes, that means there are 40 million atheists in India, right? Is that right? Yes, 40 million. So we're talking India here. That's 3%. Do not dismiss it. 40 million atheists. That 3% is not a small number, okay? 3% of 1.3 billion. Am I getting my math right?
Well, I don't know if I would say atheists. It could be people who are religiously unaffiliated.
No, they say, no, look at what you're reading. Believe in God. So they lack belief in God. They're atheists.
The distinction I'm trying to make is that they may not self-identify that way.
I don't care what they identify as. Even if they don't identify as an atheist. Yeah, actually, no, I do care what they identify as. But there is a difference between self-identifying atheists and non-self-identifying atheists. If the definition of an atheist is a lack of belief in God, then 3% of 1.3 billion, that leaves enough. That leaves us an army of atheists to work with, right? That's a big number, right? Yeah, so that's like, I mean, how many atheists are in the United States? Like, that's not like that. Let's not dismiss 40 million people, okay? That's a lot of atheists. Just wanted to let people know that.
And I'm curious, what is the percentage in the United States? But what I thought was very interesting had to do with this certainty factor. So
wait,
the fact.
1 second. People are saying 40 million is nothing for India. Yes, but 40 million is a lot for us. Okay, I know it's nothing for India, but for us, with the, as atheist activists, 40 million people, that's a lot of people. Anyways, go
on. I forgot the point that I was going to make. Oh yeah, it had to do with the certainty factor. It's very interesting to look into people that there's such a strong commitment to their beliefs. The Rabbit Atheist is saying, I agree with Armin. If you don't believe in God or gods, you are an atheist regardless of identification. Yes, I remember seeing from the data that out of the 30,000 people they identified, 67 were atheists. No, maybe not atheists, but they said religiously unaffiliated. So, out of the sample population, it's quite small. Blank Name is saying we could build our own country. what I thought was interesting is that they also look at opinions of people who are supporters of the BJP. So, for example, Hindus in support of the BJP are 81% more likely to believe in God with absolute certainty, as opposed to Hindus who are not in favor of BJP, who their certainty level is only 74%. So I thought that was a very interesting thing. So it's like the more religiously zealous or certain are more likely to be BJP members or supporters. For those who do not know, BJP is the ruling party of India. It's the largest political party in the world and extremely right wing. Let me see. There was so many interesting statistics in this. 69% of Indians believe that God can be manifested in nature, such as mountains, rivers, and trees. Oh yeah, so it also looks at kind of like, I kind of want to say animist, but not exactly animist, like more of beliefs about where God is present. So it's very interesting that the Muslims and Christians who were polled were more likely to say that God is manifested in people over nature. And it also looked at stuff as like when people are asking for God for favors. So more than 90% of Indians are inclined to ask God for good health, prosperity, and forgiveness. The shares are roughly similar across all religious communities, with Buddhists being the least likely to ask for any of these. However, this has much to do with the fact that 1/3 of Buddhists do not believe in God at all. Go ahead.
I just want to compare total number-wise with the U.S. I don't think this is correct because the Rabid Atheist is saying atheists are 6% in the U.S. That's only 20 million, half as much as India. I think the 6% are the self-identifying atheists. So if we want to compare atheists in the U.S. with atheists in India, I think we should compare both self-identifying and not self-identifying. I'm looking at the numbers. There's a 2013 poll that suggests that 3/4 of U.S. adults are believe in God. So that would leave 25% maybe that don't believe in God. That would mean 25% of 300 million of U.S. is 300 million, right? USA population. Yeah. Oh, 328. Okay, 328. So if we include all atheists, not just the self-identifying atheists, that would be around 80 million, right? So United States has 80 million atheists. India has 40 million. So that's pretty good. Half as much as US.
There was a Pew Research from 2018 and 2019 that showed that 4% of American adults self-identify as atheists, with an additional 5% calling themselves agnostics. So, but those are who self-identify, not who, if asked about if they actually believe, say so. Wait, there was a really, really good comment from Katie. Katie is saying, by the way, this study is also a blow against the Hindu atheists who claim Hinduism includes atheism, because the study shows that there are Muslims and Christians who claim to be atheists. So what Katie is getting at here is that when asked about someone's religious affiliation, people would say, oh, I'm a Christian, I'm a Muslim. But when actually asked whether they believe in God or not, they say no. So it actually is like this whole thing of like Ali Rizvi's atheist Muslim thing. It's actually that. So it's people who they identify as part of a religious community because that's the community that they come from. It's an identity, but they don't actually actively have a belief. So it's this contention behind a cultural identity versus what is actually believed, which was surprisingly common in a lot of these respondents. And so Katie is pointing out that this isn't something that's exclusive to this phenomenon of so-called Hindu atheists. where they're trying to maintain a cultural identity of being Hindu while also claiming that they are atheists, although oftentimes Hindu atheists are, I don't know, sometimes I
Bring
found
it back.
in the place. Oh, okay. Shoot, here we go.
Okay, I don't think that's a fair point though against these so-called Hindu atheists, because what they're getting at when it comes to this is not a, I don't think that's a big of a blow, because when they're saying Hinduism includes atheism, I don't think they're necessarily talking about the people who are, I think they're also talking about the scripture, right? I think they're talking about within Hinduism, even the gods don't know how the universe came about. Like for example, again, it's amazing that I'm steel manning Hindu atheists, which is not fun. Okay. But if you have a Muslim who identifies as a Muslim and doesn't believe in God, that would be there's a contradiction between their identity and their belief system, right? So yeah, you might have people who identify as Muslim and don't believe in God, but that's a contradiction. What they're saying is that when it comes to a person who's a culturally Hindu and doesn't believe in God, their point is that there is no contradiction over there, right? So that's what they're getting at, in my opinion.
I see what you're saying.
Yeah.
Oh,
Armin.
wait. This is a little bit different. But I saw AGA saying Australia has a census coming up, and already the war over the religious question is starting to flare up. We're campaigning for people to mark no religion if you no longer believe, and the far-right Christians are saying pick Christian or other religions will take over. So, AGA, if you know someone who's a representative of this campaign, I'd be super interested in talking to them, because actively marking that you're an atheist on census data is very important. I know I've seen similar campaigns in the UK and the United States, because it's really important for our government to know how much of the population in voting demographic and constituency that we make up. It helps us push for more representation. It helps us push for more power within the body politic, and more respect of our rights. So yeah, knowing more information about how populations identify in terms of beliefs, I think religious beliefs is super important and really interesting.
I do want...
Go on. No, you go ahead.
Okay. I do want to clarify and maybe correct something I said. When I said I don't care about whether somebody identifies as an atheist or not, if they don't believe in God, they're an atheist. I mean, I don't care about that as much as when it comes to making a decision on whether or not they're atheists or not. What they identify as is irrelevant. However, it's not by its own entirely irrelevant when it comes to other questions, right? So when it comes to what they identify as is irrelevant. But when it comes to acceptance and normalization, the number of people who identify as atheists, and for that question, that becomes very important, right? So there are many battles that we're fighting, right? One of the battles is for people who are atheists to self-identify as an atheist. Like even that is progress, right? So it is important. If we go, like, let's say you have a country that is 10% atheist and 2% identifies as atheist. If you take that country from that to being 10% atheist still, but 5% identifies as an atheist, that's progress, because identifying as an atheist means atheism has become more accepted. That's why people feel comfortable identifying as an atheist. And also it's a sign of progress, but also it causes further progress, because more people identifying as an atheist makes it less taboo and normalizes for further progress, right? So identifying as atheist does matter. Anyways.
Wait, there was a really interesting comment. Oh yeah, so this was something else that I think is just a fun fact. Shiva is the most commonly selected deity Hindus feel closest to, with 44% of Hindus selecting him. This is regardless of whether they believe in one god or one god with many manifestations, or many gods. So, fun fact, Shiva, out of the Hindu gods, is the most worshipped, or has the largest percentage of being worshipped.
Such a betrayal of all the old gods. Bring the old gods back. I like
Agni.
Yeah, Agni is my favorite. Yeah, there's the popularization of the new gods, the Trinity of Hinduism, Vishnu, Shiva,
Are
and
you
Brahma.
telling India to embrace tradition?
I'm telling India that they betrayed the only God that was listening to them and taking their concerns seriously. Agni was the god that came down from the places where gods stay and actually came among the humans. He dwindled around the humans and actually took their messages and took them to the other gods, right? He was at your fireplaces. He's still at your weddings. Agni is still at your wedding. He's even after all of the Indians betrayed him and just focused on Shiva, Vishnu, and not even just Shiva and Vishnu, to be fair, right? Even after all of that, he still comes and blesses you at your weddings. You know? So, I mean, every time you're cooking food, it's because Agni is blessing it, right? And it's such a betrayal, such a crime. Anyways.
All these people are saying that you've betrayed Kali.
No,
Kali.
I haven't betrayed Kali. The thing is that Kali is mine, so India has no business anymore with Kali. Like I would tell India to embrace Kali, but it can't because I have taken Kali for myself. Kali has abandoned India.
Open about the love jihad now.
Yeah,
that's where we're at. Mask off.
Your
Mask
Kali
off,
has
and dude, for you watching.
proudly so. I love jihad at Kali. So don't embrace Kali. She has given up on you. She loves me only. But Agni, there's the God. Forget Shiva.
Adam Rickster saying, great. Susanna and root to being a Shia, Armin a Hindu.
I even have an Agni prayer saved. Oh yeah, I think I got.
What?
No, I have an Agni. I am so in favor of Agni that I have a prayer. Oh yeah. Here, let me read this to you, and you tell me why people don't pray to Agni instead. Look at this. This is an ancient Agni prayer way before these new gods in India became popular. Okay. It says, I pray to Agni, the household priest, who is... Hey, no, don't share. Don't share my screen without telling me. Yeah.
You said, look at this.
No, I'm just listen. Okay. I pray to Agni, the household priest, who is the god of sacrifice, the one who chants and invokes and brings most treasure. Agni earned the prayers of the ancient sages and those of the present too. He will bring the gods here. Through Agni, one may win wealth and grow from day to day, glorious and most abounding in heroic sons. Agni, only the sacrificial ritual that you encompass on all sides goes to the gods. Agni, the priest with the sharp sight of a poet, the true and most brilliant. The god will come with the gods. Whatever good you wish to do for the one who worships you, Agni, through you, that comes true. To you, Agni, who shines upon darkness, we come day after day, bringing our thoughts and homage. We come to you, the king over sacrifices, the shining guardian of the order, growing in your own house. Be easy for us to reach. Be easy for us to reach. I'm telling you, this is the God that was the easiest for humans to talk to. All the other gods were high and mighty and acting like you had to go through so many loopholes for them to even pay the slightest attention to you. Agni was the one that was always there when you wanted somebody to carry your message. He even if he couldn't do something for you, he would be the one that would take your request to the gods that could do things for you because they wouldn't listen. He's a Prometheus. Agni is the Prometheus of Hinduism, especially because he also brings fire. Just like Prometheus brings fire from the gods, Agni also brings fire. Be easy for us to reach, like a father to his son. Like a father to his son. You see, this is a God that is like a father. Abide with us. Abide with us. He's not over us. He's like among us, with us. He's also the Jesus of Hinduism. Agni is also the Jesus of Hinduism. He walks among us rather than up high. Abide with us, Agni, for our happiness. No other gods care. Only Prometheus can challenge Agni when it comes to caring about mere mortals. Yeah. Anyways.
You know how you call someone who does dawa a dai?
Yeah.
I feel like you're like an Agni or something like that.
Wow, look, people are converting. We love Susie, we love Armin.
I know, Ion, send help.
Hey guys, if you're a fan of blasphemy and sexy Callie, like me, then you need to be sure to subscribe to our newsletter, link in the description below. Because if you subscribe, we will send you a free copy of our Blasphemous Art ebook. And let me tell you, it is the tastiest blasphemy that you can find anywhere available today. And we are so generous with our blasphemy that we continue to send you more blasphemy every week. So make sure to subscribe, link in the description below.